Hey guys, Sanjay here. I do apologize for the delay. And this week, recorded a podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. The last 2 minutes, my audio cut out. So sorry about the camera audio, but forgive me this time. And I'll see you guys
Birdie num
next week.
num. Birdie num num. Birdie num num.
What's up, ladies and gents? And welcome back to another episode of the Birdy Num Num podcast. Sanjay Manaktala here. I'm having a good week. I really hope you guys are having a wonderful week. And I do apologize for the delay. It has been a few wonderful up and down weeks since I have put out a podcast. My bad. I have been caught up with trying to figure out life here in the US of A and deciding right now there's no stand up comedy shows anywhere, and people are doing Zoom shows and virtual shows. I've done a few, doing one this Friday for my buddies over at the Setup in San Francisco, but I guess in the internet, wherever that may be. And I don't know, man. I'm also just trying to figure out my zone, my balance, and all of that stuff. And in the middle of all that, and these riots here that we have in California, in Los Angeles, I have been a bit caught up. So, getting straight to it, my friends. This week on the podcast, I would like to talk about something that you will struggle with always in life, but you will struggle with it in different ways in life all the time. Because, sorry, the what will constantly change, but the why and the how for this will usually probably never change, which is how to be more confident, how to get confidence, how to just be cool in the thin line between confidence and arrogance and all of that stuff. And, when I was 15, 16 here in the land of the free, the United States, I had internet access because, we had a dial up modem and all of that stuff. And along those same times when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you think about girls and money, and probably the biggest two things on your mind as a 16-year-old straight heterosexual male is how to get lucky and how to get money, if you know what I mean. And that is normal. I get it. You are hardwired that way. I was hardwired that way. It makes complete sense. And as you dig through that, as you get through those problems, as you confront those issues, because we have a nice open dialogue, you and I, every week here on the BNN, as you discuss those things, you will see that confidence plays a big key, not only in making money, but also in attracting a partner and, being happy in your work and trying to do creative things and starting your own company and entrepreneurship and yada, yada, yada. Confidence is the seed from which all of these wonderful fruits grow. The low hanging fruits and the high hanging fruits. Confidence is one of the biggest things that I have always struggled with. And I know some of you may be thinking, no, Sanjay, you're so confident. You just show up on your podcast after, you've not even combed your hair and you're just chilling and you're, like you seem like you have it all. Oh, thank you so much. By the way, I have a Wikipedia. I didn't even know I had a Wikipedia, which is, I'm like, that sounds so arrogant. So there we go. I don't know the thin line between confidence and arrogant, but like, it's so funny. People are like, dude, you're still like struggling for money, or you're still like unsure of what you want to do. You have a Wikipedia. And I'm like, nah, man, that's not what life is about. And that's not what confidence is about. Just like, oh man, you have a Mercedes or you have a big mansion. You must be so confident. No, no, no. Those are all plugs in the dam, if you will, trying to stop the water from leaking. And so I don't know why I use my Wikipedia as an example. That was really bad, but you get it. Like, when it comes to confidence, my friends, I feel like it's a building block, and I don't think we talk about it enough, which is why I'm glad we're talking about it this week. I think somebody messaged me, but even on Instagram, if you follow, even on the Instagram, if you follow me there, I've been quite slow recently. So again, I do apologize because, hey, I also am going through a bit of a rut right now. I also am not feeling very confident. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I don't know if it's because comedy shows have stopped. I don't know if it's because I'm back in America. I don't know if it's because all the news and all the social media is hanging over my head. I don't know. But, I've been trying to exercise and do all that stuff, but I'm in kind of one of those zones. Even recently, we did this fundraiser with Danish, the prankster, the one who does Biani Bakri and all that stuff. Some of you may have seen it, some of you may have not, on Zoom and all of that. And even there, I felt like it was a great show. We raised, I think, like 5 or 6 lakhs for, charity, and it was awesome. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of it. But I don't think I was truly in my element, because, man, it's like when you're younger, the what of confidence, as I mentioned, is okay, I'd like to make money and support myself and survive here on planet Earth. And I would like to, obviously, I have biological urges, you know what I mean? And I would like to figure that out. And that clouds a lot of your day to day decision making. And when you realize after Googling how to be more confident or how to get a girlfriend or how to date or how to ask somebody out, I mean, confidence are, it's the bicycle. It's no longer having the training wheels. And most of us look at people who have confidence or who are very confident or just anything they do, whether it's business or 10 different businesses or whatever, they're able to handle it. This guy was a finance major. He's not even a computer science graduate like you are, yet he has made 15 apps. Or this girl was a human resources person. Now she started her own company doing AI. What the hell? And like you're an AI engineer from a college and you can't do anything. So like it's weird and it's frustrating. And I'm here to tell you, number one, it's normal. Okay. We all struggle with this. But number two, and more importantly, in terms of how to be more confident and how to like, fix your insecurities and that sort of stuff, let me just tell you, it's a nonstop battle for sure. But the good news is Pareto principle, you know what I mean? 20% of the work will take you 80% of the way there. Case in point, all right? An example most people can relate to, asking somebody out. And, like, dude, I've like been rejected by many women, and I think I've ended up on top. Thank you, God, or whoever is up there with my wife now, and I'm very grateful for that. But I look at it as like, had I not asked all these girls out, or had I not faced rejection, or had I not been dumped, or had I not dumped somebody, or whatever, it would not have taken me to where I am now. And most of the hurdles when it comes time to how do I be more confident or how do I get confidence, it's simply a lack of doing what Nike always says, which is just do it. It's literally being scared of an invisible enemy, which is yourself. When I was 15, there was a girl I liked and I was super scared and I wanted her to go to like the dance with me and like we were chatting on like MSN or AIM or whatever. When I was doing all that stuff, it was, if I ask this person out or if she knows that, I like her. Number one, I'm this chubby little Indian kid with a mustache and like a really and a really bad haircut, and she's gonna tell all her friends, and they're gonna make fun of me, and I'm gonna be the embarrassment of the school, and no one's gonna want to talk to me, and they're gonna say I smell, and yada 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 yada. That's what was playing through my head. Okay. Um, and, when I started doing stand up comedy, it was, man, I want to do stand up comedy, but if my friends come watch me, they're going to realize because it takes hundreds of shows to get good, they're going to obviously see me not do well. They're going to see other people do way better, and they're going to tell me it's not for me, yada, 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 yada. And so, you write these invisible enemies in your head, you create them. But here is the beauty of confidence that I don't feel enough people talk about is you have to look at the numbers because we're a data driven podcast, my friends. You know what I mean? Like if, let's assume just for this example, everyone's straight. Let's just say that, right? So for one guy, one girl, whatever, right? So let's just say like, dude, if your partner, if 50% of people are meeting the other 50% of people eventually, you know what I mean? Or you are born because somebody was able to get a girl to marry them and sleep with them, and out came you. If everybody is doing it, no pun intended, you can do it too. So chances are, just like eventually everybody is able to afford a house, or eventually everybody is able to have a car or a job or travel and see the world. Well, they're not that much more smarter than you or me. You know what I mean? Maybe they're dumber, maybe they're smarter, maybe they're equal, who knows? But number one, you have to realize everybody has been where you have been. And sure, some people are blessed with more gifts. Some people are born being 6'8" and playing in the NBA right away. And some people are, not. Some people are too short and they say they can't play professional sports or they're too skinny, but they do it anyways. And a great quote I read in one of these motivational books that I've been reading the last few weeks, because that's what I've been doing, is, hard work is a great replacement for talent, right? So, if you don't have the kind of parents who were like, yeah, just go ask her out, buddy, or like, or if you don't have the kind of mom who was like, just tell him you like him, dear, or whatever, it's okay because literally, like, when you get older, like man, if I think about it now, let's just like if I had to ask somebody out now, or if I had to go to a job interview now, sure, I might be a little more nervous because the stakes are still high. And another great comedian said, they asked him on his like thousandth show, do you still get nervous? And he was like, I still do. Not as much as when I started, but I still get a little bit nervous, but that's great because I know that I still care then. You know what I mean? And so, like, if you struggle with these problems of dating or family or money, or let's say you want to get a job at LinkedIn or Microsoft and you know somebody who works there and you don't know how to ask them for a referral, and you don't know what should I say, and you're looking at the LinkedIn message and you're like typing it out 45 times and you're just so confused. um, you know there's good news and there's bad news. Okay, and the bad news first is there's no foolproof method. There's no one size fits all approach because the what is always going to be different. How you ask somebody out, or how you tell a girl in school that you like her, or a coworker, which hopefully you do professionally, versus how you ask for a job reference, or how you start your own business and try to get free work out of somebody, or low cost stuff. Like, they're all different. But the bad news is you have to do it, and you do have to face rejection. You do have to let somebody say, hey, I'm not interested in you, or I'm not attracted to you, or ew, gross, no thanks. And look, we're all human. I feel society has gotten like way too polite. Like, we flip each other off, like on the highways, we yell at each other, we scream at our own family members. But if God forbid, if somebody, like, ladies, come on, for the ladies who are listening, if a guy asked you out and he wasn't even in your league, or you were just not attracted to him, and some of you might just be like, hey, I'm not attracted to you, no thanks. And that might work, and tough lesson for that guy. But kudos to you, and him for asking you out, you for being honest and not wasting his time. But also, that guy will be like, ooh, man, that hurt. But he'll very quickly get over that. And either, I have this belief, by the way, that nobody is inherently unattractive. Obviously, as a society, we value height, or physical physique, or physical traits, or certain types of hair. But as long as you don't have any, like, deformities, and even then, if you do, I'm sure there's beauty in that too. But the typical, golden ratio, look that up if you don't know it, and symmetry, beauty is usually symmetry. And I have a very strong belief that, unless, God forbid, you have some terrible condition, like, nobody is really unattractive. And there's characteristics we all like, which, to be fair, sure, the movies and the magazines, but, if you're overweight and you're not happy, you can always lose weight. And, unfortunately, I can't gain 5 inches, on my head. Or that sounds so weird, but I can't gain height. But, like, if you have a lot of pimples, you can, take different medicines. If you are hairy, you can trim, whatever I'm saying. So, um, like, one the biggest lesson for me, like, dude, me confidence is like, you go 10% with your confidence, and somebody shuts you down, you go back down to 5 because you kind of were like a dog and you bit for the snack, and then the owner whacked you. Now you're back at 5. Now, to go from 5 to 20 the next time you do it, and the next time after that, like, nothing hurts as bad as that first rejection or that first no. But the more you keep getting them, eventually the less they impact you, and then eventually you start getting yeses, because then it feels like, wow, this guy has asked me out, he knows what he's doing, or wow, this guy is assertive, or wow, this girl, I really liked the tone of her email, where she actually picked up the phone and called me after sending me the email, because who uses a phone call these days, right? And so confidence is one of those things where, like, it's kind of like Nike, just do it. But unlike Nike, it's just keep doing it, because for any runners that might be listening, confidence, it's kind of like a pair of shoes, if you will, like, any runners who might be listening, that when you get a brand new pair of shoes, when you read the blogs on Runner's World or all these websites, when you get into running, is basically the shoes aren't the most comfortable when you first get them. And then a lot of people, they return them. And a lot of people are like, these shoes suck and they stub my toe and all of that stuff. But real runners know, real athletes know, real people who are working on themselves know that after the first 10 kilometers, or after the first 30 kilometers or 30 miles, whatever, the shoes kind of adapt to your foot, or the gel kind of meshes in, or what kind of socks you wear, and how your feet move and all of that stuff, and the fabric kind of I don't know if contours is even the right word, but they kind of meld in, and then the shoes really shine. And then you get comfortable, the shoes get comfortable, you find your rhythm, you find your flow, and all of that stuff, right? So, Nike says just do it, but they should also say just keep doing it, right? And ironically, the same thing with confidence is that the more you do something, I'm not saying be the creepy guy asking out the girls nonstop, not taking no for an answer, but the more you start asking for business deals or meetings or calling people or offering to help people or looking for favors and doing it respectfully and gracefully and the right way, which is a topic for another podcast. But the more you do that, the easier it ends up becoming. Yeah, the first one or two times it's painful, but if you return those shoes, metaphor, if you return those shoes right away, you're never going to get to the other side, which is beautiful, which is exciting, which is awesome because you are now in your rhythm. And it's so weird. Like, one of the best things for me that a lot of people don't, or I don't know if we shame these days in society. I know there's like body shaming, and yes, of course, any physique is beautiful, any size is beautiful, but like, why do we shame people who put their before and after pictures after they just lost 20 pounds? Good girl, good for you, or good dude. I'm happy you got the six pack, and I hope you use it responsibly. You know what I mean? Like, don't be some like player now thinking like, it's time to like go mess around everywhere. But if it helps you be more confident, and the second thing about confidence is, the bad and good news is you got to not only do it, but keep doing it. There's no shortcuts there. But one way to really make it easier, even for the first time or the 10th time, is again, make sure you're confident. Don't overanalyze. Don't watch 150,000 courses for a year before you actually try to open up Photoshop and make graphic design or pick up a guitar or whatever. But, look inwards for sure. Why are gyms so popular? Gyms are not about health or food. Gyms are about personal transformation for here and here, because the people who are going to the gyms know that if they fit into their pants better, or if they are getting compliments from their boss or their crush or whatever, they are going to feel better and they are going to get the things that they want. Okay. So, like, to any people who are scared, I have to tell you, and I made a video about this also. Number three is ask. Okay. It does not hurt to ask, because again, the more you keep asking, a lot of people ask me for a lot of stuff every time I open up my DM folder on Instagram, and some people want free stuff. Some people want me to do a shout out. Some people want a favor, but once in a while, I'm okay to do it. And if I ignore it, or if I didn't read it or whatever, don't take it personally. It's fine. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. I always ask you guys for topics of stuff you want to talk about, because that's something I like doing. And that's something I want from you. So I know if I'm on the right track or not, right? And if you don't answer me, or if someone's like, hey, I didn't like your last episode, I'm more than happy to hear it, because I've been doing this long enough. I have got my shoes worn in. And yeah, life is not like a straight exponential line, nor is it a linear line that's always progressing. There are always going to be ups and downs, but like the stock market, my friend, okay, like the Nifty, the Sensex, there are always, plus 10, minus 10, plus 5, minus 5, and the trend eventually becomes up. It's like that in anything. Okay. So, I would love if you guys, I'm asking you now, if there was any specific questions about confidence that might help you. People always say hustle, hustle, just work hard, just work hard. But I'm here to tell you, man, like the Wikipedia thing, I said, whatever, I've got 20, 30 million views on YouTube and all of that. And it feels good. And it's nice to say, hey, your show was so fun and you made money and you sold this or whatever. But everybody struggles with insecurity. It just keeps manifesting in different ways. Everybody struggles, but I'm appreciative. And, the more you practice confidence, the more you practice getting rejected. And the best of all is the more you learn from those things and take them the more you practice confidence and the more you practice getting rejected, ultimately, the more you get used to those ups and downs, is literally just floating in the water at the beach. Some waves are stronger than others, all of that stuff. But eventually you swim out and you swim back and you feel good. And hopefully you got that six pack that's glistening, which I don't even know if my abs ever exist, I always say. So, That's it for this week, you guys. I hope that was helpful. I know it was a little bit of a ramble, but we always ramble here, right? But I've been kind of in a rut, and it's just part of life, and something you got to go through. And people always say it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be cool, but these things happen, man. Some days are cloudy, some months are cloudy, but uh, I've always learned that sort of practicing to, once you take that first leap. I mean, look at how I'm looking at a light switch right now. Okay, literally a light switch. And every time I walk into this room, I flip that light switch on because I know what's going to happen. And I'm not nervous, like, oh, if I hit it too hard, will it not break? Or if I ask the wrong way, like, oh, will the light switch think I'm being creepy? Or like, if I do it after 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., no, I just go for it. And our minds love to paint a million stories, a million what if situations. Dude, I was thinking about this because here in California, there's like so many riots right now. And, I'm a big fan of meditation these days, although I don't know what it is fully. I've been doing it for 2 years, but I'm still not fully there onto what it's doing for me, but I know it's doing something. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's some purpose. I know I'm sleeping better, but I'm not quite sure. And I definitely feel more confident. But I was thinking, like, dude, like, the way my thoughts used to spiral out of control, like, what are you doing with comedy? You left a big job at Accenture, and now, the people who are there are now making way more money than even you're making as a comedian. You could have been right there with them. And before I know it, I'm like literally so upset about the course of things that have happened, regardless of the fact that, ooh, I had a meeting with Amazon yesterday or whatever. And so, that spirals out of control, even though I was literally just having breakfast and I saw like a commercial for Accenture, like on TV or something. And the same thing with what's happening right now. Yes, there are crimes committed every day. Yes, there is travesties and stuff. And yes, people are looting and screaming, whether it's India or America and all of that stuff. But, those things kind of feed off of each other. And if you read or watch 90 different YouTube videos or news articles, all of a sudden you're like in this crazy psychotic place because society is also kind of snowballing, just like the same way your brain snowballs into telling yourself you're not good enough, you suck, you're never going to get there, you're an idiot. But like the light switch, another example is the window. You can look out the window and you can see a million things, but the people who are looking into the window will only see one thing, and that is you. So the way to make sure you show the best of yourself is to constantly work on yourself, but obviously be more confident. And trust me, man, confidence, it's like riding a bike. The second you crack it and the second you kind of learn that falling down once or twice and hurting your knees, I mean, it's not the end of the world. And now you can ride that bike and now you can really fly. And no one at the Tour de France is talking about training wheels. They're talking about a million other things, but I'm happy to talk to you about the training wheels of life, which is confidence. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. Sanjay Manaktala here. Drop me a note. Let me know what else you'd like me to talk about. I'm getting more confident already, 20 minutes into this. So please do like, rate, review, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.
Birdie num num. Birdie num num. A birdie num num.